Well, next weekend, hundreds of people will take to the streets in Cheektowaga for the annual Tunnel to Towers 5K. It's a way to honor fallen military and first responders.
The race will also put a spotlight on the life and legacy of fallen Buffalo firefighter Jason Arno. To talk more about this, we are joined by Tunnel to Towers squad member Lisa Amatura. Lisa, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me again.
So first, I just want to start this, to talk a little bit about your ties with the foundation, because, we are nearing 22 years since that unthinkable tragedy on 9/11. And we always talk about, people know where they were, what they were doing on that day, and you kind of have a firsthand account from that day.
Yes. So I was on the 78th floor of the first tower when the plane hit. Obviously, I was, able to get out, but with the help of many of the brave firefighters, I was able to do that and was able to come home to Buffalo, where I was born and raised, just 2 days later.
And it was, and thankful that you're here, by the
thank
way.
you.
Year after year, I feel like we say that every time you say it. I get the
Yeah.
chills and everything else, but because you've been saying this for a number of years here on our air, and we love it. So that obviously made a very easy decision for you to get involved in the way that you do. And maybe people, hopefully people are familiar, but maybe people are unfamiliar with so many of the things that Tunnel to Towers does just here in Western New York. Could you highlight a couple of those, because it is so vast?
Sure. So today, just this morning, so thank you to the people of Western New York. They went out and filled the boot for Buffalo Fire. Over $35,000 was raised this morning. The stair climb that we were talking about earlier, also to benefit Tunnel to Towers. Not only the race, but we'll also have a after-race party happening on Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Blackthorn Restaurant. So it's $25 for those that want to attend, and if you've done the race, then $20 if you have your bib number.
Now tell us, you talk about how much was raised, what this money does for the foundation. I know that they also help families of fallen first responders, one of them including Buffalo firefighter Jason Arno.
It's an incredible foundation. So they have a couple of programs: a Smart Home program, Fallen First Responder Home program, Gold Star Family Home program, and the idea is that after something catastrophic happens to one of our first responders or veterans, they come in and they help either those that were left behind or adapt a home and make it a smart home for those that survived with catastrophic injuries.
Buffalo is lucky to have an incredibly prolific and very active running scene. And there are, several 5Ks or even longer races each and every weekend. Each of them has its own uniqueness. There is something special about this race. I've run it many times, and it is different from the rest of the races in the running circuit. It comes at the end of the season. You get a lot of runners, you get a lot of participation, but you also get a lot of participation from non-runners, because that whole area of the fire department is just completely filled. Talk about maybe some of the things that go around in addition to the 5K race.
Right. So one of the best parts is that when you pick up your race packet, you get to choose the badge of a firefighter, a fallen firefighter from 9/11. And you clip it onto your shirt. You run with that firefighter with you. All along the race path, there's photographs, this tall of those firefighters. So you're, as you run by, you're walking by each one. And also many of the firefighters run in full regalia. Stephen Siller had 60 pounds of gear on his back when he went through the tunnel to reach the towers, where he laid down his life for people like me. So it is very, very special. Can't quite put my finger on it, but.
You mentioned, as we were talking before we came on the air, that actually a member of the family could be here. Like, is it a possibility? Is it, because obviously he's very, very busy.
Yes.
He does these events all over the country.
Right. Well, we certainly hope that the founder of the foundation will be there. We won't know yet. Personally, I would love to meet him.
Sure.
And just thank him for his, not only his brother's bravery. Stephen was the youngest of 7 children. He was the baby brother. And so he was virtually raised by his brothers and sisters. He had 5 of his own children when he passed away, and just an incredible story.
And I want to ask you, the impact, how special it is to you, this 5K, these events from Tunnel to Towers, it happens all over the country. But to see such a big show here in Buffalo, what does that mean to you?
Well, so I was born and raised here, right? And I went on to be able to raise my own family here. I had a 2-year-old at home, and on 9/11, I was unknowingly pregnant with my second child, who's 21 now. Oh, wow. And I also have a 12-year-old. So, you know, for me to be able to participate here and know the ties to the organization in New York City is incredible.
All right, Lisa, if you could give us a breakdown of the actual event, of the 5K, the time and everything, and then the information about the post-party as well, please.
Right. So Saturday, September 16th, you can start picking up your race packets at 7 a.m. 8:40, we'll have a little ceremony, and then the race starts at 9. The after party, like I said, was that Blackthorn restaurant on Seneca Street. Starts at 11, goes until 3. Lots of fun, $25 to get in, $20 if you have your race bib.
And people can still register for the race,
Yes,
too.
they can.
That's big.
Still open. It is such a good race. It is a great course. If you are into 5Ks, it is a great course as well if you haven't done this one. But it obviously is super meaningful as well. Lisa, thank you so much for being here again. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me again.
Seeing you.